X won't follow divorce rule that she wrote. X. 38F. Who is my kid's mom? Really wanted right of first refusal in divorce agreement so she could get extra time with kids if I 39 meters couldn't watch them, which is reasonable. But she also wanted it specified that only grandparents and aunts and uncles could watch the kids. If she passed on the right of first refusal, she wouldn't admit it, but my lawyer suspected the reason she wanted to only allow those specific people was to exclude any romantic partner of mine from babysitting ever. The kids' parents would always get first dibs, though, so there was no good reason for that bit of it, and honestly a long-term partner is probably going to be better for the kids as a babysitter than my family, who is hours away and some of them aren't the most trustworthy. I agreed to it in the final agreement under the condition that I get a make-up date anytime she uses the right of first refusal, to avoid giving her the incentive to just say no to every date swap. So fast forward to this weekend and I ask if she wants the kids under right of first refusal, and she says yes, but that she won't give me a makeup overnight, because the right of first refusal requires a makeup. I tell her that this counts as rejecting her right of first refusal. She gets mad and says I should give her the kids anyway. So I say I need to follow the exact wording of the divorce agreement. And it says only grandparents and aunts and uncles can watch the kids. She didn't put parents in there. So I'm not even legally allowed to let her watch the kids if she's not going to follow the right of first refusal agreement. Oh, that felt sweet to use that stupid rule she created against her attempt to break the agreement. She was mad, but she finally agreed to a make-up overnight in the end. Which is the way it should have been in the first place. Edit. I think it's worth adding that I do believe the end state here was best for the kids. Which is the goal. Keeping the placement days 50-50 lets the kids keep seeing each parent as much as they can. And they want to see both parents as much as they can. It promotes parental equality from everyone's view. She's generally a good mom to the kids. I'm a good dad. No real concerns there. But she's willing to try to break the divorce agreement so that she can get more time with the kids. By taking time away that I was supposed to be able to spend with the kids. And that's not fair to the kids or to me. And I am happy I stopped her from doing that. Why do parents do stupid things that will hurt their children? Like ridiculous rules about when the non-custodial parent can see their children? I don't have kids. But correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't it take two to make a child? These poor kids. None of this makes any sense to me, lol. It's important to love your kids more than you hate your ex. I was extremely lucky. When I got divorced, my ex didn't transform like most of the horror stories we all hear about. She agreed to not put our son into the court system, but we left it open in case things changed. And we just worked everything out between ourselves. I started working overnights, until he started in school all day, so I could take care of him during the day while she worked, and I paid her support directly so it wouldn't all be tied up in the court system. He grew up between two houses, but he never saw us fighting, so he just never knew any different. We still have a really good relationship to this day, and I freely give most of that credit to her. My wife has a right of first refusal written into their custody agreement. And when we first started dating and then I met the kids and then started to look after the kids, he threw a fit saying he should get them before I could watch them. That I couldn't babysit them like for a few hours. It would have put an undue burden on the back and forth of the kids. It was explained to him that the right of first refusal was only if we were paying someone to watch the kids, and even then it was only if we were making him pay for half of that. So if we put the kid in daycare and paid for it 100%, he couldn't say anything about it. But if we were making him pay for half of it, he would have first refusal rights. We never put and never will put the kids in daycare. He lost that argument. Growing up in that environment sucks no matter how even the parents make it. You forget your homework at the other house. Or your socks. You can't play at a friend's house because it's the wrong weekend. You can't even make plans with your friends because you are switching houses and haven't talked to that parent about what's going on. I hate to say it, but I was glad when my mom moved to CA and I stayed with my dad. At least it gave me a predictable life. If you are not already doing so, have all your conversations with the ex through a co-parenting app. It creates a paper trail that could be very useful when one parent decides that the terms of the divorce decree only apply to the other person. I am a little confused on how your agreement works. There are hundreds of situations where the children will be under the care of a non-related adult. I would think that this would be very difficult to write up, and equally difficult to enforce. It's always a good sign that the parents want more time with their kids, at least. Heartwarming. This Reddit poster is more effective than his ex-wife is at using their children as pawns for vindictive purposes. This is mind-blowing to me. I came from a separated house and my parents never went to court for a custody battle. They also never married and just had an agreement, so that might have played a part in our situation. Mom would have us during the week. Dad on the weekends, and summer it was whatever we as the kids wanted. I can't even imagine this. My ex does as little as humanly possible. If only he wanted to spend time with the kids loudly crying. As a father who divorced an angry and spiteful mother and tried to be the good guy that followed the rules, tried to be inclusive, and present my kids with a viewpoint from their father that did not disparage their mother. 50-50 timesharing was actually worse for my children. The time they spent with her was full of mental manipulations, hateful uncontrolled outbursts, and constant efforts to lessen my time with my children. I have suffered through many moments of guilt, feeling that in my effort to be objective I failed to protect my kids from that toxicity, that I should have taken a different path to keep her venom from poisoning them. Despite their maturing to be absolute stunning examples of good kids, great people. Emo. That guilt and fear creep in. I wholeheartedly hope your outcome in this kind of messy situation works out in the best way possible for you. I get that it felt good, but sticking it to the ex just because it feels good is probably going to cause more headaches in the long run. Always make decisions based on what is best for the kids. Sometimes it takes being the bigger person and help the ex, as it might spark a better parenting relationship which will make things easier for you in the long run. This isn't funny, and this type of co-parenting interaction will harm your children. Co-parenting is always a two-person job, even if it feels like the other person isn't holding up their end of the agreement. At the end of the day, it's still your job as a parent to consider and put the children's needs first. The only innocent people in this equation are your children. I sincerely hope you and your ex both find some way to grow some emotional regulation skills. She's power tripping, and you cut it off at the breaker. Well done. If only you both tried making your marriage work as hard as you both schemed to screw the other over in your divorce. My ex and I had that first right of refusal thing too, but only as a temporary, preliminary agreement before everything was finalized. Every time I need to use it, she would argue about stupid things back and forth and never give a straight answer, right up until it was too late to do anything else. So, I brought that up at the final trial and the judge removed it, along with a few other things that she wanted to keep. Big win for the kids. Can't you just co-parent like adults instead of being petty and childish? So neither of you think about what's best for the kids. Good for you, face with rolling eyes.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.